is what it is, eh? I just traveled the world from 2016 onward. I wrote it down. Facebook with regards to how much money measure against those KPIs. Trust me, your life will change. Here we go, guys. Looks like we're live. It's good to see some of you here. Hey, Swappy, hey, Woody, hey, Melv. Good to see you in the room live. And anyone else out there on Facebook, it's awesome to be joining you on this amazing Wednesday morning here on the Gold Coast. It's the 1st of July, guys. Who's excited for a new month? We actually just sat down at the weekend and planned out our whole July, and really the theme for us this month is just focus. Focus and going deep on what we already have. Because the truth is, you actually don't really need much to be successful. You just need stuff that works. So like we're just doubling down on everything that is already working, instead of bringing anything new in. We're just doubling down on what's working. So let's kind of start this call with it's the new month, right? So in the chat box, or if you're over on Facebook, or if you're watching the replay, let me know what's your goals. Like, what's your goal in July? Have you sat down and have you thought about that yet? Because it's something that you are going to want to do. Is remember the lenses process that you have, where you plan out your 30-day goals that are in alignment with your 90-day targets, and then where you're going for the year. Do you understand? Do you know how many people you have to contact? What's your goal? Like, how many clients you want to take on? How much money do you want to add to your bottom line? Woody, my goal is to launch by the end of the month. Good, bro. That's awesome. So that's an epic goal, because Woody's here. Woody's coming through the course. He's going through the fast launch. He's going through the content. And then his goal is to launch by the end of the month. That's a great goal, Woody. Well done. Swapna, what about you, man? See you in here. See you. What's your goal? Hey, over on Facebook, guys, let me just post the link, the Zoom link over here, if it works. Join us here. There we go. Oh, damn. I bloody pressed the wrong link. Whoops. Hit 20 grand. Nice swap note. Nice. Bear with me, guys. I just made a bit of a mistake there. So while I'm on a live call, so we'll just have to make some swift changes here. Participant. So how do I here we go. So your goal is to get 20K. You finished off June strong. Well done, Swapnil. Look at that, guys. So Swapnil, you posted that into all panelists. If all you guys can change to all panelists and attendees, just big shout out to Swapnil for finishing off June strong and hitting £15,000, Great British pounds. So for all you Aussies, that's close to 30 grand. For anyone in the US, that's probably 22 or something like that ish. Good job, Swapnil, man. And Swapnil's been in this course for a while. He's done his full 6 months, and that's exactly where you guys can get if you put in the work. Like Swapnil's just learnt the tap system, right? He's just learnt the tap system and obsessed about it, and now he implements that for his own business, and then he implements it for other businesses. Okay, and I'm actually going to be going through a bit of a framework today that is going to give people clarity on kind of what I would suggest they focus on for where they're at. So good stuff, Swap. Now I'm super proud of you, man. It's good to see. Hey, Jenny, good to see you jump in. And then anyone over on Facebook, I just need to quickly make sure that I rectify my mistake that I just made there on the Facebook group, because I posted in the wrong thing into the Facebook, and then we'll get started from there. But while we're waiting on me like making up for my mess up this morning, can you let me know in the chat box what your goal is for July, or if you're over on the replay, let me know what your goal is for July, so we can literally set some tension. All right, because as you guys know, if you've been going through the magnetic mind stuff that you get access to, tension turns into momentum, and it is a science. Oh, Britt helped me out. I seen that. Thanks, Britt. Cool, guys. Well, let's get started. Number one is I wish you all an amazing July, and just really this month, sit down today, tomorrow, and just really be honest with yourself on how you showed up in June. So an example, like Swapno will sit there and he'll be like, "Man, I crushed it." Because Swapno, you're kind of you were fluctuating between, I think it was £6,000 and £12,000 or something like that. Like you would fluctuate. So for Swapno, he's going to sit down and look at, hey, like before I was fluctuating between here and here, but now I've pushed to this. So hey, I'm really happy with that. That must mean that I've took some actions that have improved. So if I was Swapno, I would be asking myself, what did I do? And I would be doubling down on that. And that's exactly what we did at the weekend. We looked at what we were doing this last month and what worked, and now we're doubling down on it. Just double down on what's working, okay? Because that's the key to momentum, and the momentum will get you where you want to be. Is find out what's working and double down on it, okay? And also, like if you're sitting there and you've launched an ad as an example, right? Let's say you've launched an ad and the ad hasn't worked as well as you want it to. I'm right there with you. Like we've got some ads working right now, but there's been plenty ads that I've launched that haven't worked. All right. And there's been plenty optimizations that I've done and to try and improve upon results that have ended up being worse than the first ad that I launched. Okay, so if you're sitting there and you've maybe went through the fast launch and you've launched an ad and it's not went as well, then that's okay. If you've done that in June, then you just got to understand that that message to market match didn't work. So in July, you've got to keep working on your message to market match. Okay, so there's only ever two things. You either change the message or you change the targeting. Okay, and if you feel the messaging is okay, then you want to start testing different audiences. All right, so really sit down and really look at what you did last month and make some improvements, or keep riding the same wave and momentum that you are going down. So I've seen your question, Jenny. I'll get them at the end. Okay. So if you've got any questions, just we'll get all that stuff at the end. Cool. So let's jump in and go for this today. So what I'm going to show you today is like there's just three frameworks that I've been thinking about in my mind that just give people like clarity and guidance, and like guidance on now current reality, and then guidance on future where you're going. And it's really important as entrepreneurs, as people starting out as entrepreneurs, because like if you start a marketing business, it's really the first thing that you can do to start as an entrepreneur. You either learn sales, market, and product development, right? That's the three things. If you're here learning marketing, and I actually believe that marketing's the number one skill, but obviously I'll be biased, but I truly do think it is, because products don't sell without marketing. Sales don't happen without marketing. So like, what's the number one skill if you look at it that way? And you're here learning that, okay? And it's very important to know that you're a seed right now. Like you're a seed that's going to flourish into being this amazing, skillful, confident entrepreneur that can drive results, right? And here's proof of the pudding. Swapno, he started with no marketing business, and now he has a £15,000. £15,000 last month he did, but overall it's a six-figure business he's got in Great British pounds. So he started as a seed that just started learning the tap system and then implemented for himself and then implemented for other people. And now his seed has grown into a little tree, right? And it's going to keep growing. It's just a small tree. Like, believe it or not, six figures is just a small tree for a business, and his tree's going to keep growing because he's putting in the work. Okay. And as you go through your journey, isn't it true that we get in our own way? Give me a one in the chat box if you've ever gotten your own way before. Right? I know I have. I'm number one for that. Who's got in their own way before? Right? We get in our own way, and And why do you think we get in our own way? Like, tell me why. Like, what do you think in the chat box? Let me know what you think. Why do we get in our own way? Why? Why? Lack of clarity. If you go to the key, if you go to the real root of it, it's always lack of clarity, right? Lack of clarity, right? And then that lack of clarity creates resistance. Okay, it creates resistance, and then you just get in your own way because you're not sure where you're at, what you're doing. You feel like you don't know where to start. Well, are all these things pretty relevant to the journey that you've been on? So it's super important to have kind of thinking models to think through, to understand exactly where you are at. Okay, so like right. And this is just this what I'm about to tell you today is super important. You need to understand this, and it's true for everyone that goes on their journey. The truth is, everyone has their own unique journey. But for me, like I started like 7 years ago, my business journey started properly. I was always interested in it, always kind of like reading little books about it. I remember when I was back in my class in 5-year-old, we done this bloody, I can't remember what you used to call it. It was like a year book or something like that. I can't remember what you call it, but at the end of the year, you created this book of your year. And one of the questions that they asked me in that was like, what do you see yourself doing in the future? And I literally wrote down, I was like, I will own businesses. I don't know how the hell I bloody knew it, but I wrote it down just intuitively as a 5-year-old, and then I completely forgot about it. So I kind of like looking back now, like connecting those dots, like a part of me always knew I was going to do this, right? I don't know how that happens, but a part of me always knew I was going to do this. But then I just completely forgot about it, and then I went down the path of following after your parents and all that kind of stuff. The usual kind of story where you kind of just do what they tell you to do. You follow their plan for you. And yeah, like it got me to a place where I was a fully qualified joiner. I was working bloody hard, like 40, 50, 60 hours a week, only earning like £10 an hour. And I just knew there was more to life than going to a building site and just like slaving away all day. And I remember this one day I bumped into a painter, right? And he was the one that really got me thinking about my future, because he just looked super down, and I was like trying to cheer him up. I was like, what's going on, man? What's going on? And then he was like, I'm just having one of those days, son. Like, I really wish I could turn back time and I would not be doing this. This is not the way I envisioned my life. I just went into automatic mode, and he just started offloading all this emotion to me. And it really, and then at the end, he was like, son, like really start thinking about, do you really want it? It was just made me think about my future. It was like one of those moments in time where the universe just puts someone in front of you that gets you thinking about your future that you completely forgot about. Because I had a car crash that got me thinking about my future, but then I just fell right back into bloody bad habits and behaviors, as you do, right? And then that really got me thinking, and then it actually inspired me to go after and start doing what I love, right? Because I was like, well, life's too short. If I'm going to do something, I better do something that I love, and I better do something that I really bloody love. And at the time, I just loved going to the gym, so I chose to be a PT. I got into that, struggled, but then I was like only earning like $2,000 a month or something like that, just getting by, spinning my wheels. And then I was just like, I gotta like invest in myself. I had this realization that I had to invest in me. I had to invest in skills. Like otherwise, this business ain't going to grow itself. It was all on me now. Okay, it was all on me. I had no other option. So I got on a call with a PT fitness guru guy. And to hats off to him, he had a really good course. He asked me for £8,000, and I didn't have it, but I told him straight with certainty. And that was the day I backed myself, man. That was the day I backed myself on the call. I really backed myself, and I want to give everyone a shout out here who's backing themselves too. So congratulations, I've been there. it's like I didn't have it, and I was like, give me 5 days, man, I'll get it. And I got resourceful with between dad and bank and all that stuff, and I figured it out. And then I paid him all the whole thing up front. And I was like, I'm not going on a payment plan either. Like, I'm not going on a payment plan. No way, I'm not going on a payment plan. Why would I go on a payment plan? I'm fully committed to this. I believe in myself. So here you go. I'm going to find it. Let's go. And that was me. That's what I wanted to do. And that really, really, really changed my life. He was the one that really got me looking at personal development first, right? Which led me on a path down that way. But then also he gave me the first insight into Facebook ads and how I could use that to grow the business. He gave me the first guy that gave me insight into an offer. Like, I was just selling PT shit, right? $35 an hour or whatever it was. I was charged £35 an hour back then or something. And he gave me this offer thing, and I was like, Jesus Christ, there's an offer I can create, and I can sell it for more than just an hourly thing. They're actually buying a result. They're buying a transformation. And I was just like, all these things started unpacking in my head. And I was like, whoa, this whole new world opened up to me. It was just like opened up, and I followed it. I remember sitting down in the PT office the first time with someone. What was her name again? I can't. She ended up turning into a long-term client for 12 months who just kept buying my package every 12 weeks. What was that? Anyway, I can't remember her name, but we sat down, and it was the first time I'd done his sales script, and I'd done his offer and all that kind of stuff, and I ran ads to get her there, and I was just sitting there, and I made the first sale, and it was about $2,000 for the package, or just over. Because one of the things I did was I actually put time and effort and energy to make it feel like a really precise price, so it felt like I put some effort into it and it wasn't just made up out of thin air. And it worked, man. It worked. It really, that was my first experience of selling high ticket face to face and running ads and getting people in. And then I took the business online, right? Because I got to that point where I was so full. I was working 50, 60 hours a week. I was burnt out, and I was just like, man, this is not, I need leverage. That was my next problem. And I took the business online and then started coaching PTs on market and business, online products and all that kind of stuff, because I was just obsessing about that. And I really loved that actually more than I did actually training people, which brings me to today. And then that grew to 6 figures. Then the whole thing fell apart, right? I just was not, I wasn't mature with the way I was spending money, where I was putting my money, all that stuff. So the thing fell apart. And then because I had built some basic skills, I didn't have mastery at this point, but because I had built some basic skills, I then decided to rebuild. And that's actually when I met Chris. And Chris was like, bro, just go for market, like master it, man. You've got the foundation, but just master it. And he was like, hey, he's got the agency, it's doing this, it's doing that, it's doing this. And then we just went for it. I helped him with which agency, and then I took on PT clients on the side and was earning really good money. And I just put my head down and just focused on building the skill, right? That was literally all I did, was I focused on building the skill. And instead of, like, I'm going to draw this graph out in a minute, but when you start a business, what happens is it usually goes like that, because you're taking massive action, and then you can flatline. But then you can go like this, or you can go like this, okay? There's like that predictable journey of, yeah, starting, boom, some clients, flat line, nothing's happening. And you either go boom, or you go because you do something, right? And for me, when I first started, I was just relentless at taking action. So I went like that, but went boom, right back down, flat on my face. And what the decision of actually deciding just to master marketing and go for marketing and use it and master it on other people's businesses. Like I used Chrissy's business to master it. I used all the agency clients to master it. And then I used all my PT agency clients that I did on the side to master marketing. Okay. So like, it was using other people's money. I was using other people's money, other people's leverage to learn the skill and providing an epic service at the same time. So everyone wins. Okay. And that's the key. All right. And what this allowed me to do is this allowed me to not experience this down, but experience this, this kind of like amazing foundation that just allowed me to just really go like this for a year and a half. And really, really just anchor in these skills and just be patient with myself rather than trying to get everywhere tomorrow. I was just super patient. And I was just like, that, earning good money, doing good things, bum, 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 bum. And then boom, skill mastery happens. It just happens. You wake up one day and you realize, how the hell have I got all these skills? Right. And then you can start doing other stuff. And I'm going to show you an ad account that we literally relaunched the ads for this program on the April the 15th. And we've already spent like 50K in the account, right? And we can just do it with confidence. That's already returned us. We've already had about 200 grand cash come back in, right? So once you like get this mastered, guys, you can do other you'll have your ups, you'll go and do other projects, you'll experience so much more abundance in your life that you don't even know that you didn't even know that was possible. Okay, so when we are drawing these models out, when we are giving you advice, this is coming from experience and cold hard results. All right, so with that said, let's jump in and let's go over the first model. Okay, so the first model, if I get this up and share my screen here, if I draw like a graph out along here, oh, move that one there, and then we'll draw another one along here. So if you imagine this being success and this being time, so you always start here, and this is like the idea, right? This is the idea phase. You germinate an idea right here, okay? And the good news for anyone coming into this program is there's two types of people, right? There's either someone that's a starter looking for a business opportunity, or there is an entrepreneur, business owner already that wants to just get their marketing working. So the good thing about those two types of people is person one, you come in here, okay, we're giving you the idea. And by the way, this idea is timeless. The reason we are so passionate about sharing this idea is this skill isn't going away. Okay, so if you've came into this program for an ad that more than likely I've written, and you've watched a webinar, more than likely that Chris has done, then all these things we tell you, we 100,000,000% believe in. Okay, and yeah, we've got a marketing system and a sales system. We practice what we preach, but also we tell the truth. Okay, we tell you the God's honest truth. All right, and we tell you what we believe in, and we tell you what's really got us to where we are today, where we can create a 6-figure campaign like that. Just click the fingers and it's done. Build a 7-figure business. We can do that. We've got the skills. All right, and it's just normal now. it's just normal. And if I'd looked back at the guy 7 years ago, I was talking about this £10 an hour on a building site, it was not bloody normal. That was like, Jesus, I would never be able to do that. Okay, so person one, we're giving you the idea, an idea that's timeless and it's not going anywhere. Person number two, business owner, you already have an idea. Now, there's also two types of people within this one. Person one is a business owner that, if they were being honest with themselves, doesn't really have a business. They're more self-employed, and they've actually not even got an idea that's working, but they think they do. Okay, that's person number one. Person number two is actually someone that has genuinely got a business. They're making money. They've got some proof of concept, but they just can't get out of that starter to promoter phase where they get their market and really pumping for them, right? And if that's you, you have your idea already. But business owner number one that doesn't have the idea really working, you're still seeking for this, okay? And like, I'm going to go over what I would suggest at the end from our model number 3 for you, if that's you. But anyway, we start with an idea. And then when we get the idea, we move up, and there's a big spike, okay? Because there's excitement, there's germination, energy, and there's a spike here. Okay, and this phase here is you're just getting traction, right? If you imagine like the rubber meeting the road, you're getting traction. Okay, is this all making sense, guys, in the chat box? Okay, so who's like an example, like Swap, like I'm going to go with Swapno's on here, like Tessa as an example that came into this program, she is in traction phase. Like she's got 4 clients now, 1.2K a month. She's in traction, right? She's taken the idea that we've given her that's timeless, and she's boom, she's gone into traction. The rubber meets the road. She's got money in the bank. It's exciting. She's learning new skills. She's getting traction, right? And then once you get traction, you move into the next phase, which really kicks in. When the rubber meets the road, all right, what happens next? You get momentum. All right, so you move from traction to momentum. All right, and this is where like the wheels are just turning and you're just going, and sales are just coming in, leads are flowing in, and you're just going and going and going and going and going. All right. And next phase is where you jump up and you actually start to look at expansion. So you expand. All right. And this is where you actually take all your momentum that you've got. And this kind of first 2 phases is usually just messy, chaotic. You're just learning, you're putting things together. There's no real system process. You're just like going for it because you want to get momentum. And then when you go to expand, you need to really start thinking about, okay, cool, I need to put some marketing systems and I need to put some systems and processes in place. I might need to expand and hire a VA and hire some staff. Example, you know what I mean, right? So you expand. But what happens here is in this phase, like there's a lot of things that need to be done. So what kind of happens is there's some sort of flat line that happens. Okay, it's like you get to a big area of growth that you've never been to before. So for Swapno, that might be 20 grand a month, right? But for another company like Conscious Education, Magnetic Mind, like the biggest month we've had 675 grand. All right, so that's a big month, right? A big one. So and that was a jump that's a double size. So in November 2019, Magnetic Mind side of the business, Conscious Education, that product line that we have, that I run all the marketing for, our biggest month, it was like the biggest cash month was like 330 grand in November 2019. And then last month, June, was 675 grand. So that's like 6 months. So if you think about the momentum we got in November, I think momentum, expansion happened, 675. And then this month, I actually think it leveled out. So we're on the flatline bit and we're literally just about to go bomb again, okay? Because we're literally getting everything in place here that needs to be in place to allow us the infrastructure allow us to grow, okay? And there's just really 2 paths that happen from here, guys. Path 1 is this, and path 2 is this. All right. So when I launched that online business at start of 2016, and I took it to 6 figures fast, like really fast. I literally I went through this really quick. For me, it was like traction, momentum, expand. I was good in these 2 phases. This was my natural state of being. I mean, I was just like traction, momentum, let's go. But when it got to having to switch my awareness to becoming a builder, like building systems and stuff, I just didn't shift into that identity, and I made really crap decisions with money and stuff like that. I got up and then I ended up flatlining, I think about £20,000 a month. I didn't get past that, and I was flatlined, and then I fell flat on my face because I didn't do the work here to put in the systems processes. I was really bad at hiring staff, like just all that stuff when you first start. Like I made all the mistakes at the start, and I flatlined, and I didn't take the flatline as a sign to say, hey, this stuff needs to change. Like, and by the way, this is a predictable journey that we go on as business owners, right? That is predictable. And then as you like go up to the next level, so for conscious education, right? Imagine when we jump up, right? The next level of income is going to, once this flat line happens, we're going to jump up to about $1 million a month, right? That's what's going to happen, right? We know how to get through these phases, so we're going to jump up to about $1 million a month. But then that's going to be the same thing, right? You're going to get more traction, momentum, and then there's going to be another flat line that happens at some point, and then you need to innovate and then jump up again. All right, so it's like this is a consistent. It's like, what do they call it? The Fibonacci sequence in nature. There's just a natural rate of growth that happens, and it's just predictable in business, right? So I think it's quite cool to see this and understand this journey that we're all on. Like, who, give me a 1 in the chat box if you're getting this, and it's good to see. Okay, and it's just super important, like this area here, because you'll if you really action all the stuff that you're getting in here, you'll really experience this, right? Because scenario one, right? Say that you're the type of person that just wants to get to that 10 clients in your marketing business, and say that $2,000 a month each, which is really cheap, by the way. You're at 20 grand a month, right? That's for some, like for like me back in the day, that was a lot. That was a lot. That was me getting my traction and momentum and really getting up to that expansion phase. Because when you get to that, you can choose to expand. All right, you can choose to expand. Now, when you get here, right, there's really 3 choices that you have, right? So if you're like, I've got this idea, I'm getting traction, I'm getting momentum, and I now have the choice to expand. Let's say you experience a flat line, okay, and that flat line gives you the kind of it gives you the alarm bell. Go, right, cool, I've got 3 choices here. Okay, choice number 3 is you can just be in denial and lie to yourself that you're in the flat line. By the way, that's what I did. And guess what happened? Denial led to falling flat on my face. The next choice you've got is retreat. Okay, and then the next choice is grow. Okay, now this choice, the denial choice, I would say do not do that. Retreat, that's okay, by the way. If you get up to your 10, 20, 30 grand a month, wherever you're at, and you're just kind of like, by the way, I'm good here, then instead of trying to expand, just stay there. Stay there. Why would you want to create extra stress for yourself if you don't want to do that, right? Some people don't. Some people just want a lifestyle business, and that's completely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So you can just choose to retreat and say, I'm going to retreat and I'm just going to stay in my momentum because I love this. I've got 10 clients paying me X. I've got 15 clients. I've got 5 clients. Wherever you're at, like that's okay. You can just retreat and go, wow, I'm happy. All right. Or if you're like, I wouldn't choose to do that. That's not what I would choose. I always choose growth. So like for me, when I get to that point, I'm just like, right, cool. Like, who do I need to become to step into this and grow? And then I become that person, and then I grow up. I grow from that. I go, boom, up I go. All right. So definitely don't do denial. You can do retreat. You can stay in your momentum. You can stay there. Okay. And if you want to do growth, this is going to be a bit of a challenge to get through it because you need to become a new person, and then you'll grow. Okay. So this model, I want you to have this model in your head because you're going to experience this at some point. And it's good to know that where am I at? Am I just in traction? So for Woody that's on the call, bro, you're just in your idea bit. You've got your idea, you're learning some skills, and by the end of the month, you're going to launch. And when you launch, you're going to move into that, you're going to try and get the wheels turning. So you're going to be in the traction phase, and it's going to be good for you in your head just to go, right, cool, I'm in traction. Let's go. I'm trying to get traction. That's my goal. My goal is to get traction. How do I get traction? I generate leads and I make sales. How do I get traction? I generate leads and I make sales. And if I'm anything else out of that focus, then it's a waste of time. Okay, so this is model number 1. All right, so if you want to take a screenshot of this, you can do, by the way.